Hey everybody, it's Tarina with Creative Tree. That's me, and today I am on the Crafty Bunch. It is Monday, and it is Monday's Crafter's Choice. I love Crafter's Choice. If you are not on the Crafty Bunch, make sure you pop over there. Judy is just finishing up. She was making a really cute gnome. The thing I love about Mondays is everybody crafts their own thing. I like Mondays because I either get caught up on stuff that I'm doing or working on, or I try something new. Well, today is a try something new and get caught up on stuff I need to get done. If you're here, make sure you sprinkle it out. If you guys don't see that little red lie right there, that means you're on the replay. And if you're seeing this, it means you're probably on replay. So make sure you put hashtag replay in the comments below. And if you want anything for this project, just put info in the comments and I'll reach out to you. I know that it's going to be a second before I get sprinkled over into the group. And so what I'm going to do is I'm also going to sprinkle this. After me is my friend Nicole Prost from Sparkle Junkie. She actually made this shirt. She's so awesome. And so if I wanted to kind of share something that I was thinking about. So we got this brand new transfer. It is so pretty and I'm really excited about it. It's called Country Church. And hi, Mr. Chris, how are you? Oh, thank you so much. So we got this church, and I've seen different things on Pinterest, and I've had them pinned going, I need to do that. I need to do that. Well, guess what? We got this, and we got this surface. And so I printed out a couple of things from Pinterest, and I'm like, I'm going to try something like that. And I'm going to channel my best inner mom. My mom, if you guys didn't know, was an artist, and I'm going to show you one of her paintings that kind of inspired the look I'm going for. Hi, Miss Cindy. Hi, Bonnie. How are you guys? Oh, hi. How are you doing? Thanks so much. Okay, so this is our little surface, okay? And I'm going to teach you how to make this new medium. I'm like all over the place because I'm so excited, you guys. Okay, so first I'm going to show you my mom's painting. My mom passed away in 2020, but she was an incredible artist. And she took this class to learn how to paint this in one of her things. And so I love the look of it. It's not very defined. It's kind of chunky. Hers is all done out of oil paintings or oil paint. But I've seen other mediums where you have this really thick stuff that you use. And so I started scouring the internet. And so this hangs in my house. A lot of my mom's paintings hang in my house. And so I love this painting, and I wanted to show you. So kind of that. Hi, Michelle. Oh, thanks, Ruth, so much. Hi, Mary. How are you, friend? Oh, thank you, guys. Also, my bot, if you guys say hi, sometimes it'll just think on its own. I do apologize. And so if you get a message, just subscribe to my lives. That's all you have to do. That it just kind of sends out things. So this is my mom's, and I'm kind of going on that chunky, non-defined look. So with our transfers, a lot of times you get the definition, right? But there's a lot of definition. Hi, Miss Chastity. How are you? Thank you so much, Cindy. I appreciate it. I love, my mother was an incredible artist. She started drawing about 45 years old. She had high blood pressure. I know I've told this story before, but for those who have not heard it, she had high blood pressure and she was going through some stuff with her husband. He was really sick, and maybe she was 55. Maybe she was 55. I think she was 55. And she was going through some health stuff with her husband. And so the doctor said, you need to figure out something. And so she picked up a paintbrush at the paint store at Hobby Lobby, I think, and got some stuff and started painting one day. And she's an incredible, she was an incredible artist. And I own a lot of her paintings. She left them almost all to me. So I love that. So with that in mind, I tried this out, and we're going to kind of do this. But look, you guys, this is using this transfer right here. and I made this medium. Now, this is not a real quick project. This is you gotta wait and let it dry and set up. But we're gonna kind of do some definition work on this, and I'm gonna talk about it because it's still pretty damp. So before I go and paint some stuff and do some other definition work, I'm gonna have to let that dry. Okay, so first, I'm going to tell you the medium, and I didn't go out and buy anything special. I went to my cupboard, into my craft stash, and I found some stuff. Okay. The first thing you're going to need is some baking soda. I just grabbed this out of my cupboard. I used 1/3 of a cup of this. Everything else is either 1 or 2 tablespoons. Get some glue. You can use school glue. I used Mod Podge because I have a ton of it, and it's thick. You want the thicker glue. Like school glue. That's what kind of Mod Podge reminds me of, is school glue. So use some Mod Podge or some school glue. Use a tablespoon of the glue, a tablespoon of white paint, and it could be chalk paint. I actually used chalk paste. I just scooped up a tablespoon of chalk paste and then 2 tablespoons of water. Now, you stir all that up. I have that in this little, almost looks like plaster of Paris. And you just kind of really like stir it up. Now, if it starts getting too thick, you can always add a couple drops of water. You want it thick though. That's the important thing to know. I've had it sitting for a while, so it's going to be, I did put a little bit of water. Now, another thing too is you do want it thick. So what I did is I added a little bit of baking soda to kind of thicken it up. So if it's, depending on your elevation too, and your humidity will determine, but start with 1/3 of a cup, 1 tablespoon of glue, 1 tablespoon of paint, and 2 tablespoons of water. Start there, stir everything up really good, and then start adding whatever you need. If it's too thick, add a little bit of sprinkles of water, like not even a tablespoon, like less than a teaspoon. Just sprinkle and stir, sprinkle and stir. The same thing with the baking soda. Add a little bit, like a teaspoon at a time. Stir, stir, stir. Add a little more. You can always, just figure it out and however thick you want it. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I have a couple of different tools. I have a knife because I like the look that it gave me when I was like spreading it out, almost like frosting a cake. And I also have my multi-tool, which I love this because it kind of presses in. I really like that. Okay, so I want to, I'm going to show you how to do it on this. This is the new little chalkable surface. And then what I'm going to do is, after this is all done, then I'm going to put this on another surface, and we can finish that another day. Hi, Miss Amy. Let's switch you guys around real fast. So you guys can see what I'm doing. Let's see, 2:15, 3 o'clock. I have till 3. Okay. So again, I wanted to kind of show you what this looks like. Now, if you guys can see this, I just used like a wood surface that I had, and you can, I don't know if you guys can even see, but where the windows are, I just kind of like put a little bit of this, whatever medium it is, and then even where the door's at, and I kind of pushed it in. On this stuff, I want it to look textury, almost like stucco. Ooh, I didn't want to do that. Almost like stucco or some kind of stuff on the walls. I don't even know what to call it. And so I kind of went through and just went like this with my knife just to kind of give it a good little texture. I'm sure there's stuff that you can buy, but you know what? When you're, wanting to craft and the craft store is not open, go to your cupboard. Go to your craft stash and get, now this part right here is almost dry, and it's only been on there a little while. I started there. Okay. And then, like I said, I just used my finger and pressed this down. I just put a little tiny bit, press this down, little tiny bit. Does that make sense? You could, Ruth, I think you really could. And, but I'm going to actually go over and paint these, once they're dry, but I'm going to show you, in a minute. I'll probably do it before it's dry, just so I could show you. And then I have my hot glue gun that is getting hot right now, because I'm going to define it. I'm going to go through the outline with hot glue. All right. So the first thing I want to do is, let me move this so you guys can see what I'm doing. I think I'm going to do I want to do black? I think I'm just going to do gray just so you guys can see what I've got going there. Hi, Miss Mickey. How are you, friend? You did a fabulous job. I have to give a shout out to my friend Mickey. She did my spell book and she did a fantastic job. So anytime you guys find something that I make and you do it yourself, please share it with me. I love that. Okay. Also, if you are not over on the Crafty Bunch, make sure you follow them because there's some amazing crafters on there. And I'm just so grateful to be part of that group. Today is Crafters Choice Monday, and we get to make whatever we want, whatever craft we want. So all I'm using right now is some storm paste. And I'm going to go over my entire surface. All right. And this just, I mean, honestly, you could just use the transfer as is and it'd be awesome. But like I said, I really, really wanted some sort of like, I don't even know what to call it. What kind of, it's just like this spackle, like a spackle look. I don't know if there's a name for it and let me know because I'm telling you, I don't know much. I just know what I like when I see it. And then, oh, I missed a little spot right there. And I apologize if you can hear my husband's work. They're having a hard day. You guys, we had a hurricane come through here. It really wasn't bad. I promise you. We've had worse storms in the springtime. Once it hit us, it was like, okay, I'm tired. But this is what I had in black here before I filled it in with the little spackle medium that I made. You probably could use just a spackle medium, honestly. Hi, Miss Maria. How are you? Thanks for joining me today. Let's see. Okay, sorry. I had somebody message me asking me if we were okay. Yes. Again, we did have a hurricane that turned into a tropical storm that hit us through the night, but we're totally fine. I even have internet and we never lost power. Some people did. So I'm gonna try this. And again, after me is my friend Nicole with Sparkle Junkie. So make sure you guys watch over there and over on the Crafty Bunch. And if you missed anybody today, I love while I'm just doing things around the house that I can just listen to all my crafty friends and just watch. Okay, so this is exactly what I did, except I used a black chalk paste. I'm going to go through and I started at the top and worked my way down. And I use the outline as my outline of where I want to put my little spackle stuff. I'm just going to call it spackle stuff now because I don't know what else to call it. Good morning. You lost power for 4 hours, Maria? Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. Jump to Joyful. Remind me, oh gosh, I can see your name. I can see your face. Where are you at? Are you here in California too? I know, like my husband's company, a couple of his customers lost power and that's bad. That's bad. So they had to, we were up half the night just with that. Just having to deploy his guys. San Fernando. Oh gosh. Oh, and not only that, Maria. Oh my gosh. Not only did you get the rain, but you had an earthquake. There was an earthquake up in Ojai. So, and I know the news says, oh, there's an earthquake in California, and A lot of my friends are like, did you feel the earthquake? Nope, I didn't feel it. We're 3 hours south of Ojai, which is in the San Fernando Valley. So we are 3 hours southeast of that, inland, and our backyard is literally on granite. So earthquake, yes. Oh, that's good. But it was kind of a big one too. It was like 5 point something. Yeah, I don't feel them unless they're at least a 4.0 if they're on other fault lines around us. This is not a quick process here, you guys. It's kind of like spackling, but you're trying to be super, super tedious and really like accurate. I'm trying to color within the lines, you guys. And so maybe there's a different way of doing this, but this is how I decided to do it. And it gives me that look that I want. And normally I say don't fuss and don't go over and over. But honestly, I have found that the more you go over and over, the better it looks because it gives you more textured look. And it dries a little bit faster. Don't use heat source on this because it flattens it out. So I will kind of fuss with it like this. Do you see that? And then I'll go on to the next thing. And then I will, I'll go back and kind of touch it again. So the first one, I didn't leave the little bell tower, but I think this time on this guy, I'm going to, and I'll show you, I'll kind of do what I did for the windows and the door. So I'm just going to go in this little space. I'm trying to leave it. It likes to stick to the knife. And like I said, maybe there's a better way. And if you know a better way, tell me, because I'm always willing to learn, but I'm also willing to try things, even if I have to try to figure it out. And there's always, I know it's a weird saying, but there's always several ways to skin a cat. I don't like that saying, but I don't know another saying to say. There's different ways of doing it to get the same results. Does that make sense? If you guys don't know this, I'm a wedding and portrait photographer. Well, I'm retired. And the same thing with editing. You can edit multiple ways and get the same results, or use the same program and get the same results, just doing it the way you want. And so that's the kind of crafter I am. I will just find what works for me. And because if I figure it out, I'll remember it. Anybody else like that? Oh gosh, you are on that crazy fault line. We have our own fault line, Maria. We have a fault line. It's not the Wildemar fault line, but it does run near Wildemar, which is where we live. We live north of Temecula, inland off of the 15. And so we have our own fault line, but we live right up against the Cleveland National Forest. And so we have a forest in our backyard. And so our whole hill behind us is granite. It's kind of crazy. And so unless it's like right on our fault line, we just don't really feel it. We might feel something and we're like, what was that? But it doesn't really hit us. Let's see. Lisa. Oh gosh, Lisa, thank you. Oh yeah, you like to. I thought maybe you were here in California with the hurricane. Yeah, I like to listen to crafters all day. Like I'll just sit because you know what? It helps people's algorithm if I'm sitting and I'm cleaning or whatever. It helps people, and I'll just sit there and I might chat with them, or I might fold clothes. I would rather listen to people craft or watch people craft than watch TV. Is that crazy? Okay, sorry. So I'm just kind of filling in however I want. And I'm just kind of leaving that space. And you can, this isn't going to hurt you. It's not going to stain anything. And I think Ruth is the one that asked earlier, can you change the color of the, instead of using white paint? I'm sure you totally could. You could use red. I just think that the white allows me to paint, to make a big batch of it. I could probably even add like a little bit of, not so great. I prefer to watch crap. Oh, see? Thank you, Penny. I don't like listening to the news because it's always just bad news. I do get the news and I want to know what's going on in my world, but I don't like to sit and just watch the news. It makes me stressed. I have other things I need to think about other than, all the bad things. Like, I knew we had a hurricane coming, and so we got prepared. And again, I'm just going to go back and just kind of like dab, giving it some texture. Now, this is my thinking too, is I can come back once this is dry and go over with like one of my distressing inkers and just kind of pick up some of that texture, or even use now the rub and buff would kind of be hard, just for the simple fact that you couldn't rub it off if you got too much. And so I would maybe test it out. Does that make sense? Test out some of the different things. So just put a glob of this on a slab of wood or something, and then test out the different colorants. Because I do want it to be a little white church. So this is, again, I'm just kind of fussing. This is exactly what I did to this. So, I mean, it's definitely going to take longer than 45 minutes that I have for my craft today. But I wanted to show you kind of the process. And I am going to finish. I want to finish this guy. I want to finish him up. So I'll probably do that later. But I want to just, again, kind of show you. Now, you can see how thick I made it here. For the doors and the windows, what I did is I just took a bunch of the stuff because I did want to cover it up. And then I used my finger and just kind of pressed it in and smoothed it out. As it dries, it sticks better. Okay. And you can come back and smush it some more. But I did this for both the, but I guess I should have done that there too. I did this for both the windows and the doors. So I guess I'll do that here. Just take a little bit. Because once this dries, it'll give me something to be able to paint. And it'll take the paint color. Make sense? Have you ever had something pinned so long on your Pinterest that you just like, oh yay, I finally get to use that idea? That's this. I was very excited. Now, another thing I did after this was setting up, I'm going to show you with this. I took my knife and I really wanted to define the door. So I kind of went like this with the knife and kind of pushed my stuff up and made it really defined. Same with the windows. Just kind of went around with the knife. Okay, so it really defined those, the windows and the door. Okay, so I'm going to continue with the door and the windows here. So how's your Monday going, guys? My husband was happy for the rain. He said that he doesn't have to go up and clean the solar panels. He goes, they're clean now. Okay, you just want to put enough on here so that when you go to paint them, it gives you something for that paint to stick to. And like I said, I did find this recipe on Pinterest. There's a couple of them, and some were like things you just don't find. And I wanted something that I had. I didn't have like spackle medium, and I didn't have like other stuff that they were calling for. And I'm like, okay, I need something that everybody would have. Okay. And that's when I found a couple of them that said, you know, just use baking soda. And baking soda is kind of like salty, and it has like a salt feel to it. And so I think and it has sodium in it. And so I think that also helps it. I'm sure you could probably use salt wash too. I have salt wash. And if you feel like you have more control, you can always use just your fingers. But it does like cake up. You watch the weather. So even the weather lately has kind of stressed me out. I guess maybe just because we had that. We were warned for like 4 or 5 days that we could have a hurricane. And I'm like, okay, this is crazy. We don't get hurricanes. There have been hurricanes off our coast, and people are like, it's the first hurricane in 80 years. No, we have hurricanes off of the West Coast. They just don't make landfall. And honestly, we get tropical storms. We used to get like El Nino and La Nina and all that stuff all the time, like the weather. I remember when I was in 9th grade, oh my gosh, we had a year of so many storms. It was insane. Okay. So my husband is the weather guy. Like you, he likes to watch the weather, Penny. All right. So I'm just kind of filling in. It totally reminds me of like drywall repair. I'll bet you could probably even use like that ready-made spackle. Definitely is not a quick thing, but it's actually very satisfying. It is very satisfying. And like I said, I had seen several things on Pinterest that were like white churches, and they use like this almost like not clay, but like a spackling medium, painter's spackle. I don't know, but I knew there had to be a way for us to do it without having anything special. And I found it. And then again, I'm going to come back here every so often and just kind of pounce it to give it some more texture as it's setting up. And I'm guessing you could probably I wonder if you could even use like clay, but like modeling clay maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I had seen this on Pinterest, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to make this. This would be so fun. And then we just got this transfer in. I'm just like, yep, this was meant to be. Hi, Devonna. How are you? No, you're never late. You're fine. If you miss anything, you can always go back. And if you guys are, if you're on the Crafty Bunch, you can always go, once I'm done, I'll be done at 3 o'clock my time. That's California time. And you just refresh. And then you'll get the next crafter, which is my friend Nicole with Sparkle Junkie. And she, I'm sure, is going to have something incredible to see. Everybody over there on the Crafty Bunch is just awesome. This stuff goes a long way. I'm telling you, I've now made almost 2 things. And so this did make quite a bit. And it's pretty forgiving because it doesn't dry quick. It takes time to set up. Okay. So I'm going to set this aside because I did want to kind of do a couple things over here. I need to get this off my hand because my hand is like stuck. Okay. All right. So I wanted to do a couple of things with the one that I started. Okay. Now, I think after I'm done, after I have everything set up, I'm going to go back over and paint this and probably use this to paint the background as well. I thought about taking this and there we go. I just had to make sure that my glue gun. So I forgot to charge my my Ryobi, so it's not, I'm not using my Ryobi, so I have to get my old standard. And what I'm going to do is just go around and outline with my hot glue gun. And again, I don't know if this is wrong or right, but this is how I'm doing it. And I'm just going to go around outline. And then once I'm done and everything is dry, I'm going to go back and I'm going to paint with black paint. I'm going to paint that that glue line. Now I've done this before with hot glue. We make lots of things with hot glue. I made spider webs, snakes, outlines. And it paints really well. It does paint really well. Thanks, Cindy. Penny messaged me. I might actually have one. I can look in my stash for you if you need it. If nothing else, you can borrow mine. When's your granddaughter getting married? Oh, you guys, by the way, I have a brand new baby. We have a brand new grandbaby. She's so cute. Her name is Oakland. We finally have a name. Okay, can you guys see that? See how it's outlining? And then what I'll do. Oh, wow, awesome. Congratulations. So I'll go back through and I will paint that outline. Thank you. She's so cute, you guys. So strange to say we have a granddaughter, but she is so cute. It's really cute that this is my one son's first baby, him and his wife. They're so cute. They're such good mommy and daddy, but the first, few weeks of having a baby, it's hard. Getting used to all the things, right? So I get messages, Mom, what about this? And Mom, oh yeah, she's so cute. I did post a picture of me holding her. We were up there for about a week. And then our other grandbaby, he's due. He's due in about 3 weeks. About 2.5 now, I guess. They're about 3 weeks apart. Their due dates were. Okay, I need to get that off. I don't know what that is. And then come up here and do the cross. There we go. That's going to be cool. So you got to let that dry. You do have to let the glue dry before you go back and paint it. Okay. But the other thing I want to do is I kind of wanted to show you like painting this. Okay. So I'm going to use, this is one of my favorite new colors, eggshell blue. It's kind of like a green blue. So I'm just kind of watering it down, just looking at my time. I've got about 10 minutes. And I'm just going to come back in and come back. You can use, I'm sure you could use any paint, right? And you just see, so it's not necessary really to use a colored if you don't want to. Now, I think if I was going to do like the whole background this color, I might go back and make it actually like color that, right? Instead of using white, I would use this color in the mixture. But since it's just this right here, I'm just going to paint it. Okay, see how fast that was? That's pretty fast. And then that'll dry. Isn't that pretty? I could totally leave it just like that. I could totally leave it like that. But I'm not going to. So let's try red on the windows. Just a little bit of candy, oops, a little bit of candy apple. On the windows, kind of like a stained glass look. It's cool, huh? Another one that I see a lot is like the red doors. This is something I learned when we were in Savannah. A lot of churches would paint their doors when they would pay off, and the church congregation would own, even houses would pay off, and they would own their building outright. Thought that was super cool. So they would no longer owe anyone for that property. It was all free and clear. So I thought that was really neat. Isn't that pretty? I could seriously just leave it like that. But then what you're going to want to do is take, I probably need to just rinse that off. That's going to stain. I could come back and I could do some black lines on that if I wanted to. But you really do need to let this set up. It's really important to do that. Yeah, it is a cute name. And we just call her Oakley. She's so cute. Let's see, what do I've got? I've got 6 minutes, you guys. What do you guys think? Do you think you're going to try this? I can try to, I did want to also kind of add a little bit of gold. So this is not available anymore. This is that nominee color. And I just wanted to kind of give it a little bit of gold in there. So it's not so red. Kind of makes it look more like stained glass. Cool, huh? And then I'm going to show you, I don't know, I think this is set up. So you could come back with some black paint. I'm using paste, doesn't matter. And you can just paint over. And it's okay that I get it on the outside too. That's not a big deal to me because I'm going to come back and I'm going to fill that in, right? So it doesn't even matter. So it just really defines what you're working on. I want to show you too is I thought about doing this in covering it in black and then coming back with gold on the top. Isn't that pretty, you guys? That's going to look really cool. But can you see the difference between here and here? Just the definition alone. I think it looks fantastic, you guys. I'm so excited. I'm really excited how it worked out. So hopefully you learned something. Let me switch around here. Accent. Solo. Hello. How are you? Okay, so we're going to go over the, it really did turn out pretty cool. I mean, it'll be really neat when it's finished. But again, see that you can see the definition. See, there's no definition there, but once you paint it, you get a really cool definition. But look how thick that is. That's really neat. I like that. And you can use whatever color you want. Like I thought even maybe you could put a handle there if you want, whatever. You can decorate it however you want. I think it's going to be super neat. But again, it's a 1/3 cup of baking soda. Okay, start out with this 1/3 cup of baking soda, a tablespoon of glue, white glue, either Mod Podge or school glue. School glue is cheap right now. A tablespoon of white paint. I used chalk paste, so it was just like this, but white, but you could also use a color. And then 2 tablespoons of water. Start there, mix it up, and then see if it's thick enough. If not, start adding like a teaspoon of baking soda till it's the consistency you want. If it starts getting thick, then I'm going to add some more water to it. Only like a teaspoon or half a teaspoon at a time, just some sprinkles. You don't want it too thin or it's just going to go bleh. You don't want that. So make sure you guys, me too. Yes, it really does. It does. And that's the whole purpose of what I was going for, is to have it look like that. That was my point. I think I love it. I just think it's so neat. And so you could do whatever you want. I think what I'm going to do is I might actually do the other one and put it on top of like another one of these, but use like sheet music. We do have music, music transfer. And so I might use that. But I think it'd be super fun. If you guys have any questions, put info in the comments and I can get you all the details of this. And make sure you guys stick around for Nicole. She's next. And she's from Sparkle Junkie. If you're on the Crafty Bunch, just push that refresh button. And so you can make sure to get her up next. And if you missed anybody, you can always go back and watch replays. Thanks so much, Mary. I appreciate it. And if you guys haven't clicked that follow button, make sure you do so that you're notified when I go live. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. This has been Tarina with Create with Tree. That's me. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.